everyone, welcome to this new travel video. This trip might be one of my biggest adventures ever because I'm going on safari in Tanzania. It has always been one of my dreams to enjoy Africa's wonderful nature and wildlife, so let's explore this beautiful country together. After our 8-hour-long flight from Amsterdam to Kilimanjaro International Airport, we met with our amazing ranger Samuel, who will accompany us the entire week. First, he drove us to the Forest Hill Hotel in Arusha, where we could rest before our adventure begins. Today is our first day at our Tanzania safari, and tonight we are staying at the Lake Burungi tented camp. Right now I'm going to show you a little about the camp and our lodge, or tent in our case. And at 3 p.m. our safari starts today, and I hope that we get to see some beautiful elephants, maybe lions, other wild animals. And if we get lucky, I will show you here tonight and tomorrow morning we are going to see some animals as well, so fingers crossed. The Burungi Tented Lodge is located just 10 minutes away from Tarangire National Park and offers 38 rooms, including 20 standard tents and 8 family tents, all nestled in a shady grove with breathtaking views of Lake Burungi. The lodge offers excellent food and has a very friendly staff. They all make you feel super welcome. The terrace and pool overlooking the lake provide stunning views where you can spot wildlife when you get lucky. The rooms are nicely furnished with everything you could want, with a very comfortable bed, mosquito nets, Wi-Fi in the rooms, a large shower and plenty of space for your belongings. Before today's game drive started, we had lunch at the lodge. And let me advise you to always keep your belongings with you before these cute little thieves take them. Our lunch got interrupted when we had our first encounter with Africa's wildlife. At first, only one elephant showed up to drink some water, but very soon the rest of the group followed. For me, it was the first time encountering elephants in the wild, and it's very hard to explain all the emotions I felt during these views. Elephants truly are beautiful creatures. After our lunch, Samuel picked us up and our first game drive started. Before entering the Tarangire National Park, make sure to use the restrooms one more time, or as our ranger liked to call, chase the butterflies. Before entering the national park, we noticed an elephant in the distance, so we drove there first. And to our surprise, it wasn't just one elephant, but a big group of males. I think in total we were surrounded by over 20 elephants, which is a surreal feeling. In those moments, you realize how small you are as a human compared to these big, wonderful creatures. After saying goodbye to these elephants, we entered the national park, where you will see many of these big baobab trees. After a short while, we came across some zebras who were just as interested in us as we were in them. When on safari, you shouldn't only look for the bigger wildlife, otherwise you might miss these cute little dik-diks as they are crossing the road. Dik-diks are small antelopes that can weigh up to 6 kilograms, and to be honest, it's very tempting to take one home since they would fit perfectly in your hand luggage. So far, we've seen many elephants and zebras, but Samuel did everything to make sure we would see the giraffe before the end of today's game drive. And when you look closely behind the wildebeest, you can see a giraffe walking. When we drove back to the lodge, we encountered the same group of male elephants we met at the beginning of our game drive. And once again, the feeling it gave me was indescribable. Let me show you why.
Everybody take a picture. You will never touch the baby.
So today we are staying at another resort here in Tanzania. We are staying at the Lake Manyara, I think it's called Oasis, and we just checked in and saw a room, and it's really good, it's really nice. And right now I'm going to show you everything about the resort. I'm going to show you a little about the pool, the restaurant, the reception area, our room itself. And then later today we are going to Lake Manyara, and I hope, especially after yesterday, that we are going to see so many elephants, because I can't believe I fell in love with them. And I do hope that we get lucky and also get to see some lions and maybe giraffes. But for now I'm going to show you the resort first, and then I am taking you with me on another day of safari. Manyara Lakeview Oasis is a great place to stay while you're visiting Lake Manyara National Park. The lounge and dining hall are very cozy decorated, and they serve delicious food. The amazing staff is always smiling and makes you feel like home. Whenever you feel like you want to cool down for a second, you can enjoy the infinity pool with its amazing views. Another thing that I really enjoyed here are these beautiful flowers you can find anywhere. Manyara Lakeview Oasis consists of 10 tents and 16 lodges in total. Your lodge will either be on the ground or on the first floor. And I will be honest with you, at first I thought that it's going to be really warm here in Africa, especially since we're here in Tanzania. And I must say, yes, it's 31 degrees, but there's a lot of wind, which makes it really nice to be outside. The humidity is not that high, so it's really great to be here, and you actually are able to do things and see things, and yeah, that's what I love about it. I must say that it's very peaceful to walk to your lodge because you are surrounded by nature. It almost feels as if you're the only one there. Our lodge was on the first floor and the lodge was called Kanga. After you climb the stairs, you can see that there is a nice balcony where you can sit, relax and enjoy the nice views. When I entered the room, I immediately got the I'm in Africa feeling, staring at the leopard-looking walls and a warm wooden interior. In the bathroom you can find a closet for your belongings, a sink, a toilet and a big shower. Make sure that you're dressed warm enough for the nights, since it can get kinda cold and windy, especially on the first floor, because the lodges don't have actual windows you can close, they only have curtains. So I'm on my way to the main area of the wild camp because it's time for safari. Let's hope we can spot some elephants, giraffes, lions, everything. I'm really excited. In Lake Manyara National Park there are a lot of green trees. This is because of all the groundwater that goes towards the lake.
We think that there is an underground river starting from Lake Manyara. But last year we did have some El Nino rains, and this El Nino rains brought a lot of flood from the hills going down to the lake, and it did bring a lot of soil and stones, and we think maybe that under river was covered because the lake had become enormous. It's now big, more than 10 times the way it was before. And this lake has consumed a lot of the park areas. Some of the roads are now eaten. We say they are eaten or they are flooded by the lake because of the El Nino rains. And all this, it's because of the climate change. So the park had been minimized. No one has done the research to know how much the park had been eaten by the lake or minimized by the lake. But we see with our bare eyes that millions of trees are now in the water, in the lake, and all these millions of trees had dried up because of the sodium in the lake. They now dried up.
As you can see here, the lake expanded so much that the dead trees are now standing in the water. The fear that maybe one day Lake Manyara National Park will completely disappear is real. Wherever you go in this national park, you will always see some sort of running water. So it's no wonder that it's very green in this area, especially compared to other parts of Tanzania we're about to see in the next days. During today's game drive, we saw many monkeys such as the blue monkey and baboons. One of my biggest wishes for this safari was that I get to see as many cute baby animals as possible. So it was really heartwarming to see this group of elephants with a calf. Hopefully it won't be the last one. After today's game drive, we enjoyed the sunset from our balcony before we got ready for our evening entertainment at the main lodge. The next morning, we had a very long drive ahead of us. We were on our way to our tented camp in the middle of the Serengeti. Before you can enter the Ngorongoro conservation area, your ranger has to do some paperwork and then you're good to go. I have a little fun fact for you. In Tanzania, you can see how wealthy someone is by the amount of cows they own. The more cows they have, the richer they are. Before we headed to our next accommodation, we saw this beautiful giraffe and had a special visit to a Masai Village, thanks to our ranger Samuel. Jumbo!
Jumbo, I'm
Hello,
Lingato.
nice to meet you.
Jumbo, I'm Lingato. Nice to meet you.
Monica,
You are welcome.
we are allowed to go in.
Yes, I give you a short briefing,
Yes.
then we can continue with other program.
Okay.
You are so welcome. Again, my name is Lingato. I'm a son of the chief in this village. So we're happy to welcome you at our village. Feel at home. We want to show you how we make a fire. We go to visit to see how we live inside of our houses. But our houses is too small. It's not enough for all of us to sleep to visit all together one house. So I went to split you two, husband to wife, friend to friend. Yes. Tree, acacia, for surrounding all side of the house. And after acacia, we take these branches of yellowback acacia tree for covering the roof of the house. And after we collect these dry grasses, then we put the top of the house in order to assist it to avoid the rain on rain season. And after we collect this mud from the cow dung, then we cover all side of the house in order to make our house to be warm during the day and during the night. So I want to take you to show each part of the house. Little bit our house is too small, while as we are told that house, so mind your head. You are welcome. After showing you the material which we use for building, in this house is divided into some different parts. We have two beds. We have the bigger one and we have the smaller one. That smaller one is for children and that bigger one is for parents. And also we have this our local window for bringing light inside of the house and to remove smoke outside of the house. It's our kitchen for cooking. Also, this place is for saving our stuff, that which we use for cooking. The one who are responsible for building the houses is a job of women, ladies for building the houses. But our houses is not a permanent for us to stay all the time. Is a temporary houses. It's temporary houses because as we are same nomadic people, we move from one place to another, such because of the water and enough grasses for our cattle. So the way when we need to move from here to another place, nothing to destroy it. We leave our village here, we leave our houses, then we go and we come back again. And we move because of lack of water and enough grasses for our cattle. So sometimes we move to go on highland. And normally we move 2 times per year. 2 times per year. So end of this month we on preparation to move to go on highland.
Okay.
Because for now water we fall on far away, even grasses we fall on far away. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it has to do with the rain season you're moving?
On rainy season we come back here again.
Okay.
Yes, but for now it's a dry season, so that why now we are on preparation to move.
Yes.
Well, do you then always move between 2 different places or more?
More.
More. Okay.
Sometimes we go in that direction of Serengeti, but outside of the national park, and sometimes we go on highland.
Okay.
Yes, but for now, when this year we decide to go on highland. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many people live in your village?
This village altogether, when you totalize the young children and the older people, we are 120.
Wow.
But it's one family of one father. My father have 15 wives.
Okay.
15.
Wow.
So all here is brothers and sisters and our moms.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And do you ever meet other Maasai people, villagers, when you're traveling?
Yes, we meet, and also we are friends. We married
Yes.
from them.
Yes.
Our sister married from other families.
Okay,
Yes,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yes,
Wow.
yeah.
Good.
Very interesting.
Impressive.
Okay.
Yeah, it's impressive how you built this. It's,
Yes.
Wow.
So you take these, you leave them here?
Yes, we live here. Everything we live here. Then we go to build another new village and another new houses. as
And
well.
when you come back, this is still standing?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Sometimes when we come back, the women came first for repairing because sometimes the animal destroyed.
Yes.
So the women came for repairing before us came with the children and our cattle.
And how many animals do you have in total?
Cow, we have like 250 cow, this whole family. And goat is like 300 and something. So we have goat, sheep, and the cow, and also donkey as our car for carrying our luggage when we move. Yes, yeah. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Okay.
After exploring the Masai Village, you get the possibility to support these people by buying some of their handmade souvenirs. Personally, I think it's great to bring a special souvenir like this back home, because looking at it will bring back the memories of where you bought it. At least it always works like that for me. And now it's finally time to enter the Serengeti. We are on our way to the Pamoja Serengeti luxury camp, where we will stay for 2 nights.
Hakuna matata, hakuna matata. Jambo bwana, habari gani? Zuri sana. Wageni wakaribishwa pamoja, hakuna matata. Siamba,
Karibuni sana
Siamba,
tunawapenda
Siamba,
mama
Siamba,
mama
Siamba,
kipara noma
Siamba,
na nyanda naye
Siamba.
Thank you very much.
After a warm welcome, we were brought to our tent for the next 2 nights. And I will be honest with you, this tented camp is amazing. You're not out there camping, but it's more like glamping. You get a very comfortable bed with mosquito nets, You have a big mirror in the bathroom to check out your safari outfit every morning, and they even provide flip-flops to wear in the shower. The shower is good enough for a tent, but you have to keep in mind that you're in the middle of nowhere, so it's not always a given that you will have warm running water. And then there's plenty of room to store your luggage. They even have their own bathrobes here, which you can buy at the gift shop as well. And then let's not forget the terrace, where you can enjoy your morning and evening drink and encounter some wildlife. Hopefully, we will see some animals in front of our tent during the night. Since it was quite late already, we had a shorter game drive than usual, but we still got to see plenty of animals, such as a big group of zebras and elephants. This time there were even several baby elephants, which completely made my day. I guess we're all familiar with the term zebra crossing, right? Well, in Tanzania we experienced the literal meaning of a zebra crossing a few times. After seeing the zebras and elephants mingle, we found a tree with some marabou storks. And you might not expect it, but they are scavengers, just like vultures. So we just came back from our safari here at the Serengeti, and we are at our tent now. In a bit we are going to have dinner, and then we are going to try to sleep a bit early, because tomorrow we're going to have a hot air balloon ride, which I'm very excited about. But I don't know if we will get a lot of sleep, since we're here out in the open and there are already so many animals here. They are talking about lions, hyenas, zebras, elephants. So I don't know if we will sleep, but in case I do hear any animals, I will try to capture it or capture the sound, take you with me tonight, because it would be very, very cool if we hear any animals out here. After a very short night, we were picked up around 4 AM to go to the starting point of our hot air balloon journey over the Serengeti. When you arrive, you can get a warm tea or coffee, and even though you're in the middle of nowhere, there's even Wi-Fi and great working toilets. Before you walk to the balloons, you get buckled up with a belt that will be fastened in the balloon's basket.
Yeah, you'll be getting in with the basket still in this position. We do that because sometimes you experience ground windy. So when we start to move around and I think it's difficult to come, I want to jump in the basket. But the basket is moving around, that's what you know. We demonstrate how to get in, don't worry. Maximum capacity 16 passengers. We have full basket today. Search compartment 444. The cockpit is right in the middle. Make sure for the ones assigned to get in the top compartment, you get in first. Avoid stepping on neighbor's space in the bottom compartment when you're climbing a compartment. So top first, bottom last.
This was the very first time for me that I flew with a hot air balloon, so I must say that I was a little nervous at first. But once you're in the air and see the Serengeti landscape from above, you forget about everything and you just enjoy the stunning views. I don't know how well you can see it in this video, but we saw several giraffes. I tried my best to capture them on camera. Unfortunately, it was really hard to see the other animals in my other videos, so I'll just have to describe to you what we saw. We saw several big groups of Thompson gazelles, giraffes, elephants, and hippos. And you might not expect it, but next to the breathtaking views of the Serengeti, the bumpy landing is also a super fun experience.
Cheers.
Cheers!
In Swahili we say maisha marefu, which means long life.
After you land somewhere in the Serengeti, you are taken to a place where you will have a very extensive breakfast.
Hakuna matata,
Karibuni Kirawira,
hakuna matata. Jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana. Wageni wakaribishwa, nako baloni, hakuna matata. Tumeuona pilipili na maua ya Selema. Tumeuona pilipili na maua ya Selema.
After our breakfast, Samuel picked us up to go on another game drive in the Serengeti. The first animals we encountered were hippos. When you see them laying in the water, it's almost hard to believe that these animals are one of the most deadliest animals in the world. When we took a small break, we came across these cute little mongoose. They were very curious and not scared at all. After seeing another zebra crossing, we saw a big hippo who was all alone. It seemed as if it noticed that we were there since it opened up its mouth in a very threatening way, but apparently the hippo wasn't completely alone. It was accompanied by this water buck hiding in the bushes. At the end of the game drive, we saw another group of zebras very close to our tented camp. In the main tent of the camp, you will be able to have a drink in the lounge area, but this is also the place where you'll have your breakfast and your dinner. The staff here is super friendly. Believe me, I would come back to this camp anytime.
Those are called Maasai cobbles. And they are called Maasai cobbles because they have a history of the Maasai people. About 300 years ago, Maasai people used to live here before Serengeti National Park was made to be a national park. Serengeti National Park was established in 1921 by the colonial rules here. But before that, This place was just a land for the Maasai people. And the Maasai people lived in this area. And in those kopjes, because they are called Maasai kopjes or Maasai stones, there are some caves even today. They do exist, some caves in those stones where those people did live. They left their existence there because they lived in the caves. And in the caves, they drew the pictures of cow, the pictures of animals, the pictures of Maasai warrior with the spear and the shield. So the pictures does exist up to date. And that makes everybody who goes there to know that here lived some humans.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So these stones are Maasai kopjes.
Today's game drive started off great. We saw one female lion, and I had a feeling that she wasn't going to be the only one we would see today. Whenever you're in the Serengeti National Park, you will often see burnt grounds. These fires were created so the old grass would burn down and create space for the new grass to grow. Today was our lucky day because after a short while we found another lion. This time it was a male lion who was relaxing and couldn't be bothered by all the vehicles surrounding it. But then Samuel got a call to go to a place nearby. I don't know how well you can see it, but there are female lions with their cubs underneath a tree. Today just turned out to be our lion day. We got so lucky. Samuel, our guide, wasn't just any guide to us. He became one of our friends after such a short time, and we had a lot of fun during our game drives with him.
Jambo, jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana, wageni makaribisho, Tanzania yetu hakuna matata. Tanzania yetu hakuna matata. Tanzania yetu hakuna matata. Hakuna matata. Manyara nayo hakuna matata. Tarangire nayo hakuna matata. Ngorongoro nayo hakuna matata.
Located in the Ngorongoro Highlands, the farmhouse valley is a pleasant place to stay. The lodge is surrounded by coffee plantations, vegetable gardens and fields. The best products are used for the meals in the restaurant, and you even have the possibility here to relax in a nice pool after a long day of safari. There are 30 luxurious and spacious chalets. The rooms have a veranda, comfortable beds and a bathroom with a walk-in shower, double sinks and a separate toilet. The next morning, we could make our own lunch bag since we were going to have lunch at the Ngorongoro Crater. Today is our last full day of safari, which we are going to spend at the Ngorongoro Crater. Before heading down, we made one last stop to chase the butterflies, since we weren't going to see any toilets any soon. And let me tell you, it was definitely one of the most interesting washrooms I've ever seen, but it was very clean, and I guess that's what counts, right? The last couple of days, we haven't seen groups of animals as big as today. First, we were welcomed by hundreds of wildebeests. And don't tell me I'm the only one, but these 4 wildebeests remind me of the Beatles crossing the road. You can also see how the zebras protect their group, where every zebra is facing a different direction. In the crater, it feels as if the animals are not scared of the vehicles at all. We were able to come very close to them without scaring them off. We were so close to them that we could almost touch them, and however it might be tempting to do so, you should always keep in mind that these are wild animals and you should never pet them. Where the other zebras were in groups, this poor little guy was all alone. And unfortunately was wounded, probably attacked by a hyena who couldn't handle it by himself. I hope the zebra makes it. After a while it was time for our lunch break, and wow, it was lunch with a view. We were looking over this beautiful lake where many hippos were relaxing in the water. Even though this might sound scary, it was very safe to be outside of your vehicle. Just stay aware of your surroundings at all times. We've seen many pumbas these days, but never this close. Before we left the crater, we saw one last group of female lions relaxing in the grass, and I think in total it was a group of around 8 lions. And then it was time to leave the Ngorongoro Crater. I must say that driving up the crater came with quite a sad feeling, since this meant that our safari was over. But it was the safari of my dreams. That the safari is over doesn't mean our trip is. Before we fly to Zanzibar, we had one last lunch at the Arusha Coffee Lodge. So the end of our safari is here and we had a wonderful time. I got to see the big 5, I got to see giraffes, cheetahs, so many things. And for me it was the first time I was on safari and it was magical. And thanks to this man, it was this magical. He was the cherry on the pie. He was amazing. I've learned so many things from you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Oh, you're great.
Thank you a lot.
Oh, oops.
Oh, something
No,
fell.
it's fine.
The glasses. Oh, whoa.
It's fine.
No.
Thank you, Asante.
Asante,
No,
very
but
good.
I've learned so many things from you. Things I didn't know before. You have so much knowledge. You're so kind. You're funny. I had a wonderful time with you.
Thank you
And I
very much.
hope that the people who are watching this video will come to you for a safari because it's amazing. You are amazing.
Let them all come to
Yes,
me.
yes. So
I'll
if-
be happy to serve anybody who comes to me.
Yes. So
It's my pleasure.
Good, good. So if you have any questions about Samuel, you can leave that in the comments or send me a message on Instagram, TravelBeMelissa, and I will come back to you and maybe get you in touch with Samuel for the next safari.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Asante sana.
Karibu sana. It was
Please
lovely to
enjoy
meet
the
you.
rest of your stay in Zanzibar
Yes,
and
thank
back
you.
home.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Good.
After one intense week of safari, it was time to relax at the wonderful Ocean Paradise Resort. The Ocean Paradise Resort is located on the beautiful northeast coast of Zanzibar and overlooks the turquoise Indian Ocean. As the name suggests, it really is a piece of paradise. It's the perfect location to relax, especially after quite an intense safari. The resort consists of round houses with thatched roofs, a beautifully landscaped garden, a beautiful beach and one of the largest swimming pools on the island. We stayed at one of the round houses in the gardens. It was really a beautiful and spacious accommodation where you have a comfortable bed, 2 seats and a small table, and even a place to relax on your terrace. The nice thing about Ocean Paradise Resort is that there is always some kind of evening entertainment. Whether it's karaoke, dancers or singers at the main pool, you will never get bored. In the main area near the reception, you will have your breakfast every morning. I'm sure there's something for everyone since the breakfast is very extensive. The lovely staff will make you your breakfast just the way you like it. Whether you want an omelette, some pancakes or fresh juice, they are happy to help starting your day right. After our breakfast, we had an excursion to Stone Town. Stone Town is a city of prominent historical and artistic importance in East Africa. Its architecture, mostly dating back to the 19th century, reflects the diverse influences underlying the Swahili culture, giving a unique mixture of Arab, Persian, Indian and European elements. For this reason, the town was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2000. Stone Town is punctuated with major historical buildings, several of which are found on the seafront. These include former palaces of the sultans, fortifications, churches, mosques, and other institutional buildings. The heart of Stone Town mostly consists of a maze of narrow alleys lined by houses, shops, bazaars, and mosques. Since most streets are too narrow for cars, the town is crowded by bicycles and motorbikes. The Freddie Mercury Museum is located in the heart of Stone Town. It is located in the same house where Freddie and his family stayed until they moved to England in 1963. Our next stop on this tour is a very sad stop. We are visiting the old slave market. The Slave Market Memorial in Stone Town is the same location where slaves were brought to be sold. The stone memorial is found outside the Anglican side, and it shows 4 people who are chained at the neck, which shows how the slaves were presented to the people who bought slaves. During the tour of the old slave market, you can also visit the chambers where the slaves were held before being auctioned. It is so inhumane to see how these people were being held. Women and children were kept in one chamber and the men were kept in a separate chamber. Over 50,000 slaves from different parts of East Africa were brought to the slave market and sold in Stone Town. During the slave auctioning process, slaves were whipped, and the slaves who cried out were sold for less, whereas the ones who didn't cry when whipped by the slave masters were considered strong and they were sold for more. The Stone Town tour made a lot of impact on me. You learn a lot about the history and Zanzibar's real and everyday life, which I think is an important aspect of such a trip. So I can really recommend you to go on a Stone Town tour whenever you're visiting Zanzibar. When we were back at the resort, the sky had such pretty colors, it almost felt as if you were looking through a filter. What started as a beautiful day with one of the most stunning sunsets ever was followed by a lot of rain, and more, and more, and more. Even though we got soaking wet, and this time not because of the pool, I tried to stay as positive as possible by wearing my hat, hoping for only a little bit of sunshine. And luckily for us, our wishes came true and we could enjoy the sun for the rest of the day. Another fun thing about the resort is that you can play volleyball with some of the members of the staff. I think they do this every day. Thank you for sticking with me until the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed this wonderful trip. If you have any questions about our safari, our accommodations, or our time at Zanzibar, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.